Good day, mate.
Good.
It's been a long time I haven't made any videos, so let's just get back to it. Um, I've just played a game against this guy, larsonco, at Lichess, and this guy is actually pretty fantastic. He's got a high rating, and I've got a low rating because I've been losing. But in this game, it's a bit shocking because there is a lot of dramas, I suppose, that we can sort of have a look at. And one of them is actually regarding exchanging pieces. Um, Sometimes you seem to be able to do a good exchange, but you forget that at the end of the day, your opponent can counter it. And if your opponent has the upper hand by checking your king, bless you, it's gonna be a bit hard for you to counter attack that since you have to deal with the check. Otherwise, you need to be able to do check first before your opponent checks you. Um, the second one is there is a sacrifice that can deflect um, the opponent's piece that is actually almost mating your king. So let's just have a look at the game because those are the two things that I can remember from this game. But let's start with f4 and then d5. It's bird opening, Dutch variation, slight advantage to black here. e3, knight f6, b3, bishop f5. Oh, by the way, I was white here and my opponent was black. So bishop b2 was played, e6 was played as well, knight f3, knight at b goes to d7. I think it's a passive move, but I don't know, maybe it's just a good move. c4. Now c4 here is challenging the pawn at d5. c6 was move, exchange of pieces, c takes d5, and then c takes d5 as well was done by black. Now knight c3, developing the knight, so it's actually in the game. a6, preventing my bishop at f1 go to b5, which is the light square bishop to pin the knight. Bishop e2, probably just to open the kingside castle pathway so my king can castle kingside. And then knight c5 was moved by black. Now this move, knight goes to c5, is probably trying to attack or trying to infiltrate white space. So what I can see or understand from this move is actually the knight is planning to go to d3 there, and give or take, I mean, I just think that it's actually it's a good move, but I have a counter attack for it, so for this move. So I just castle first, kingside, and then bishop goes to d6. I suppose the idea is to bring the bishop to the game as well, and then clearing the path of castling. So when black is ready to castle, I move my knight to d4, and it's actually trying to attack the bishop at f5 there. But actually, it's also going, if it's successful, it's gonna take the bishop at d6 as well. So what happened here? Black doesn't want to sort of lose. It wants to do a counter attack, which is moving its knight to d3. Now the problem of moving the knight to d3 is actually it's going to lose a piece here. The piece that is going to lose is actually one of the minor piece. So what I can do here is actually taking the bishop first, and if black continues, which happened in the game, which is knight takes b2, which is quite a strong move, trying to attack the queen at d1, I simply move my knight to take d6, and there is a check. So what happens? Black cannot take the queen straight away at d1. It's delayed by the check. And how does black handle this? Black has to deal with the check. So this is called, this is what the topic that I want to bring to you, which is, I suppose you can say it's like winning a tempo by a check, and it's gonna win the exchange, of course. So from here, simply black has to deal with the check, however the way it likes to do, and it actually moves the king to e7, which is a weird move. Simply black can take the knight with the queen, but didn't do that. So, and then I simply have that use that tempo to move my queen, so my queen is not in check. And as you can see here, black's knight is actually trapped. So I win a minor piece, which is a bishop there. Two bishops. Finally, black took d6 using the queen, and then I simply take the knight at b2, so there is an exchange of pieces there. Now there is one open file, which is the c file, so in theory you are always try to fight for the open file. So rook at a goes to c8, rook at a goes to c1 there, so it's gonna be a challenge of the open file. b5 was moved, probably trying to limit the knight movement or just trying to advance the pawns. Now rook goes to c2 was moved by me. It's actually trying to double up the rooks. d4 was moved. It's an okay move to me. Simply just take. Then queen takes d4 check. I just simply move my king to h1. And then b4 was moved, trying to annoy the hell of the knight. But the knight can move and protect the queen at the same time, so it's okay. Now, queen goes to a7 there. It seems that black doesn't want to exchange queens because it's down in material. So it makes sense. If you're down in material, you try not to exchange pieces because there is a big chance of losing at the end game. Now rook at f goes to c1. This is doubling up the rook, creating a battery if you like. And then rook takes c2, rook takes c2, and can you believe that black's actually trying to do this move, which is queen goes to f2. First time when I see this move is actually quite threatening. The threat that black's having actually black queen to go to e1 square, checkmate, or it's like, you know, almost mate, because it cannot be contained anymore, because it's really dangerous. But if you just have a look there, black's king is actually in a very vulnerable position at the same time, and I can simply play rook goes to c1 there to and sacrificing my bishop at e2 there to deliver a checkmate. So when queen takes e2 there, which is a blunder according to the engine, which is a sacrifice, I suppose, it is actually deflected from the dark square. I simply can perform a mate in 4, which is firstly rook goes to c7 check, and then knight goes to d7, and simply I can perform this move, which is queen goes to c5 check. And as you can see, the dark square is actually not occupied by black's king anymore, so there is no interference with the queen, And also the knight at d7 cannot actually take the queen because it's actually pinned by the rook. And wherever black's king move is actually gonna be a mate, because for example, king goes to f6, there is a checkmate by moving the queen to g5, or other alternatives such as going there is also a checkmate if rook moves there. And also the other option is a bit similar, which is king going to d8. It's also gonna be answered by rook goes to c8. So wherever black's king moving, it's gonna be answered by a checkmate, either by the queen or by the rook. And black chose king goes to f6, and of course queen goes to g5 is a checkmate delivered by uh, white's queen, supported by the f4 pawn. And it's a beautiful mate because it involves a sacrifice of a bishop. So the bishop here, as you can see, so after queen goes to f2, and the threat is probably queen goes to e1 checkmate, or even like queen takes e2 is actually not a threat at all, since actually black's king is actually avoiding castle. So queen goes to c1 there is actually a brilliant move. After queen takes e2 as a decoy, so rook goes to c7 check, knight protects, but it's actually cannot do anything after queen goes to c5 there, and it's a mate in one. So thank you so much for playing with me, larsonco. From United States, larsonco is here is a pretty strong player, I suppose. If you can have a look at his profile there, larsonco is got a lot of good rating, and it's from United States. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and see you later.